Hey, welcome to Phoenix Kitchen. Today we're making pineapple sriracha sausage links. Let's see how we did it. All right, we're going to be using pork today to make this sausage. I'm grabbing 3 pounds to make this batch. These are trimmings that I got when I bought my half hog. You could use a Boston butt, you could use pork belly. You could go ahead and buy ground pork if you want it. We're looking for about an 80-20 blend. I'm going to grind that up. I'm also going to measure out my ingredients. The bowl on the left is what we're using for this. Recipe is down below. In this sausage, we're going to be using mozzarella cheese, pineapple tidbits, and sriracha. We're going to cut that mozzarella into diced pieces. We're going to go ahead and grab some of this pineapple juice. We don't want it in heavy syrup. We want it in pineapple juice. That's going to be our liquid for the sausage. Then we're going to go ahead and measure out our sriracha. I used 2 tablespoons in this batch, and it is wonderful. Keep in mind that when you're measuring that sriracha, that the citric acid in the pineapple juice will intensify the heat. So once I got my 3 pounds of sausage ground, we used our sausage grinder attachment for our KitchenAid stand mixer. We went ahead and mixed in our dry ingredients first. All right, and we want to make sure that we get these dry ingredients evenly distributed all throughout the sausage. So we're going to go ahead and mix these things extremely well. It can take a little time. You want to work it and make sure you get it all the way through. You don't want little pockets of sausage that have no flavor and sausage pockets that have too much flavor. All right, so we're looking for that nice even mixture. Once we've got our dry spices all fully incorporated, we're going to go ahead and add our liquid. We're going to get that in. It's going to loosen the meat a bit so that we'll be able to add our other dry ingredients, the cheese and the pineapple tidbits, and they'll actually be able to fit in. You'll see here my container is a little large for a 3-pound batch, so we're making sure we slide this around and get all of that liquid incorporated. We don't want to leave any sitting in the corners anywhere. Speaking of liquids, once the pineapple juice is incorporated, we're going to go ahead and add the sriracha. We want to make sure that we get all of the sriracha out of our container. So we're getting all that flavor, and we definitely want to make sure that this is worked thoroughly. That's not something that you want a large, intense pocket of, and we want to make sure that we get that flavor into every bite. Since it's not a solid ingredient like the cheese or the pineapple, we want to make sure that that flavor is going all the way through. You'll notice at the end that even after they're cooked, the sausages have a nice pink color to them, and that's actually because of that sriracha that's in there. All right, and once we've got our sausage thoroughly mixed, we're going to go ahead and get it into our hopper so we can stuff these casings. All right, so in today's video, it looks a little unique because you can see there is a partial casing already on the tray and already some liquid on the tray. That's because I've been doing other flavor sausages. This pineapple sriracha is actually my 4th one of the day, so I don't want to lose that casing. So anyway, we're still going to work it exactly like we would if it were a fresh new casing. We're going to get our sausage all the way to the tip of the extruder because we do not want the air bubbles. We want to make sure that we're feeding meat in exactly. We're going to open up that casing. If you've never done this before, these casings will come packaged in salt as a preservative. We're going to soak them for 30 minutes in a bowl of water. We're going to then, once they're ready to use, we're going to open them up, run water through the center to get out any salt, and then they'll be flexible, pliable, stretchable. We'll get them over the tube. Once we get them on our extruder, we're going to tie a knot in the end and then we'll pump our sausages in. We're going to not fill these sausages all the way. We're going to go about 90% of the way as far as thickness. That way we can leave a little room for us to squish and twist. That way we don't have to twist as they're coming out of the hopper. So we'll get this set up and make this small batch, and then you'll see us load up fresh new casings and finish out the batch. All right, something I want to point out in case this is your first sausage making video, the second end is not tied when we start twisting. In order for us to be able to do the squeeze and the twist, we need that sausage to be able to move around. If we tie it off, it's going to create a big air pocket and we'll end up blowing out the side. So we're going to leave that open so that air has room to escape. We have room to move the meat around within the sausage. Then we'll tie it off. And don't worry about the excess. We will trim that up later. We're going to move these over to a rack and load up one more casing, get these finished. And then speaking of air, you'll see us at the end. I use a toothpick. There are little tools for popping sausage casings. If you want to spend 10 bucks on Amazon, you can get one. I find a toothpick works just as well. But we're going to go through and look for any air pockets and poke those so that the casings will shrink up around the sausage and give us a nice firm sausage casing in the end. All right, we've got our sausages all on their racks and on trays. We put them into our fridge overnight because we need a chance for the curing salt to bloom. We go ahead and get them out the next day. Those casings have tightened up. We get them all snipped and ready to go. We get our fire going nice and low. It's really just barely burning. We're trying to stay as close to 100 degrees as possible for a cold smoke. We get everything onto our smoker. You see I left them on the racks. That helps to keep the sausages clean. We get a nice thick smoke rolling. Let these things come up to a final temp of 155. So we're gonna let them cold smoke for about 3.5 to 4 hours. Then I'll add a couple logs to the fire, bring that temp on up to 250 so we can get them finished off so that they are fully cooked and smoked and ready to go. They turn that beautiful, beautiful smoky red color. You can see in these, when you look at them, the chunks of the pineapple and the cheese. While those are getting ready to come off, I'm going to start an ice bath because we do want to stop that cooking process as soon as possible once we pull them off at 155. We get them into the ice bath for about 10 minutes to let that temperature come down. And then we get them out, dry them off. We're going to cut in and test one. Make sure that we're good and juicy. They're absolutely delicious. You can see the chunks of mozzarella and the pineapple. You can see the pinkness from the sriracha. They're the perfect level of heat and flavor. It's an absolutely amazing combination. And if you like sausages, I really hope you'll try these. I know you're going to love them. We're giving away a 5-piece cast iron lodge cookware set when we hit 1,000 subscribers. All you have to do is like a video and subscribe to the channel to be entered in the giveaway.